Today I will be talking about RFIQ, which is also known as Radio Frequency IQ, which is introduced by MIT Media Labs. So before discussing RFIQ, I would like to talk about its predecessor, which is RFID. So what is RFID? In a typical RFID system, you will be able to find a RFID reader and RFID tags. So with RFID reader, of course, there is an RFID antenna which will be communicating with the RFID tag, and RFID reader will be connected to a database. Of course, you can call it a computer database, and in that computer database there will be all the information stored or which is required to be retrieved. Now these RFID tags contain a small amount of information which is stored in a chip, and with the chip it also has a small antenna which is used to transmit this data. Now this computer database, RFID reader, and the antenna associated with the RFID reader will be powered by the grid. Of course, they can always be powered by batteries, but in a typical system, these are powered by the grid. They may have battery backups in case of a power failure. However, these RFID tags are typically handheld, or they may be attached to a consumer good. It may be a bottle, it may be a cardboard box, or it may be a cloth or any other consumer good. So this will be attached to that. So you can't be connecting these to the main grid, so you need batteries or some other power source for these to be working. So there are two types of RFID tags based on how these RFID tags are being powered. So the first one is active RFID tags, which is very simple. That means this particular RFID tag is being powered by a battery. So the battery will be powering this particular chip and the antenna. So this chip will be transmitting its data using the antenna to the antenna associated with the RFID reader, and then the RFID reader will be either storing these data or retrieving information from this particular database by indexing using this data which is received through the tag will be used as the index for this database query. Now, what is the other method rather than having a battery to power the RFID tag? The other method is using passive RFID tags. So in a passive RFID tag, there's no particular power source associated with the RFID tag, but it will have a coil which will induce energy which is being transmitted by the antenna associated with the RFID reader. So when the RFID reader's antenna is powered, it will be transmitting electromagnetic energy. So that electromagnetic energy is harvested by the coil in the RFID tag, and using that energy it will be powering the chip associated with the tag. So again, this chip will be containing some information. That information will be transmitted to the RFID reader's antenna, and through this antenna it will be sending to the database for either retrieval or for storing. So that is how a passive RFID tag works. So here I have given another example. In this example also you can see the antenna associated with the antenna associated with the RFID reader, and the RFID tag which has a coil which will be induced when the readers RFID readers antenna is powered, and using that induced energy, so this can transmit its data. So what is this passive RFID does when it induces energy by the RFID reader's antenna? So in this passive tag there is an antenna. So with that antenna there will be coupling with the substrate which is at the back plate, right? So based on the material which is at the back plate, this coupling will be different. Now with different coupling, this transmitted signals from the RFID tag will have different properties. It may be the transmitted signal strength, or it may be the frequency with the highest amplitude that will be changing. So somehow based on what is the substrate of the back plane, the physical properties will change. So here I have given you an example which can be found in this particular paper done by MIT Media Lab. So in that they have clearly shown when this particular bottle is empty, the center frequency or the frequency with highest amplitude is this particular frequency, so that is around 950, but when it is filled with water, so the center frequency changes to somewhere around 700 megahertz. So other than this, you can also observe a change in the amplitude or the signal strength of the received signal at the reader's antenna. So if the reader can extract these properties, so it can distinguish between water or air inside the bottle. So that is kind of very simple comparison to do whether you have water or whether you have empty bottle. So however, if you have different substrates, for example it may be water, it may be alcohol, or it may be a fruit juice which is inside here, so based on that these transmitted signals physical properties will change. If you can extract these physical properties and study these physical properties, of course you can distinguish between what is inside the bottle or what is the substrate in this backplane of the antenna. So this is the basis behind the RFIQ, which is the radio frequency IQ. So here what they do is they use the same passive RFID antenna attached to the consumer good and extract the physical properties of the received signal, and using machine learning they will be distinguishing between different substrates which is inside this bottle. So if it is a bottle, what is inside? Of course, if it is a different type of a consumer good, so if let's say if it is a potato, so you can distinguish between a bad potato and a good potato using a machine learning algorithm. So this is what they are trying to do, basically using this RFIQs. Now how this is going to be useful? Now if you can allow the consumer to read these particular RFID tags, and if you can have apps which can run those machine learning algorithms and distinguish between a good milk and bad milk, for example, or if it is alcohol, if it is mixed or not, or if it is baby food, if it is gone bad or not, like those kind of things, if you can distinguish using this machine learning algorithm using their mobile phone, so some kind of a handheld, cheaper handheld device, so this can revolutionize the market. So that is why this RFIQ the newer version of the RFID systems will be changing the world. So that is about RFIQ. So if you have any questions, you can post it as a comment. So if I can answer, I will definitely answer as soon as possible. Thank you.